Big Poppy in the house. And this is our last video from start to finish on how to build a primer alarm and a primer feed system. So you're going to take your priming kit right here for your primers, and I'm going to go ahead and do a close-in on this, and you guys can see it really close up. Okay, so you're going to take this and we're going to drill a hole, and I think I might need to tip it up just a little bit. Okay, and your primer accessory here, I want you to take it like it'd be sitting in your press. And you'll notice on the top of it, it's got two little places where it's got like a channel in it, but it's open. What I want you to do is take a drill bit, and the drill bit size is 1/8. And if you're looking down here, to the top of the bottom one is where you want to drill the hole. And you're going to drill that completely through. Okay, and then after you drill that hole, is we need to clean the burrs on the top, the bottom, and also the inside. So you're going to want to take this apart. It's got two screws on the bottom of it. Take both those screws out. Take this part out. Make sure you leave your O-ring in the thing, or take it out. And you're going to flux this a little bit to get it out. And it's going to come apart for you, just like this. And you're also going to have a little piece right here. Okay, so what you want to do is clean this up really good. Okay, and what I found is taking some sandpaper. Take some sandpaper and sand inside this groove in here that your primer slide down. And what you want to do is you want to get that as smooth as possible. You don't have to be real aggressive. Get that good and slick and singing it down and no burrs. Go on the back side of it. Not that really that critical, more on the inside than it is the out. So that looks pretty good there. Now this one right here, you've got to get it really smooth. And on the top of it, you're going to see that there's going to be some where the plastic's actually left some shavings behind. You want to get those all cleaned out of there. Just make sure it's nice, clean, smooth, no burrs. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to put this back together. So you got your little piece that slides in here, and the way that you know it's right is your pin will be up to the back, and you'll notice that it's got a indentation in it, so when you're actually wanting the primers to go in to feed, this will move side to side. Okay? So you're going to take this piece here, and you're going to take it and put the top down first, push back on a little bit, make sure you got that tab pushed in there, and it'll just snap right into place. Okay, so we'll go ahead and tighten up this screw here. Okay, the rubber seal already is in there. Put this back in. Take your little part right here, and that slips over the top of that little peg, and that's what works that back and forth as far as allowing your primers to feed. Turn it upside down. Take the screw. Put it back in there, tighten it up. And you don't want this terribly tight, or it's not going to let it slide back and forth. So that's a little too tight. So back that off a little bit. Okay, perfect. Alright, the next thing is I showed you in the last video about how to do the wiring that goes up to this primer feed here. And then you're going to go and get this, I think it was 2564. This is the sensor. So now what you're going to do, after you put the wires on it like I showed you in the last video, you're going to take this on the top, on the side, and it's going to go on the outside. So there's the back side. Here's the front side that you would see sitting at the press. Okay? Now you can glue it on. You can wire tie it on. And that's why it's got these two little holes on it. You can actually go through, come around the back side, cinch it in, and keep it to stay there. You can go that. And the whole idea, in the top of this sensor here, it's got a hole, and it's got a bulb that sends the signal to the other side, and once it hits the other side, it's a reflection. And if you guys remember me showing you these in the very beginning, these are the two bulbs right here. One's a sender, one's a reflector. Okay? That's what makes it work. So, on this, it's got a hole on each side for it to be able to communicate from here to here. Okay? So you're going to have that on here, like I told you. Okay? So there's that assembly there, and how to do it. And like I said, your hole, you'll see, you don't see a big hole right here, but it goes all the way through. Okay? Now, when everything's working right, so I've still got to come back and put these in strength tubing and that. I'm not too concerned about it right now, but I want to show you how the system works. So for an example, and let's see here. Let me block that so you guys can at least hear me to start out with. Okay, so here's the on and off switch. Here's a light that tells me that the primer alarm system is turned on. It also tells me that I have my primer feed system turned on. So for an example, I've got this blocked. I've got that system blocked, so it's basically showing that the primers are in that tube and they're full, so it's not going to go off. So now what happens, and bear with me with when I take this out, it's going to start beeping like crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this primer here, the catch. I'm going to take it, I'm going to insert it just like what you would on a press. And now, I want to fill this up. And you can tell at the bottom of it. So what that does, when I push that button, it's feeding all these primers down this chute. So now, did you notice that the alarm is not going off? The reason for that is because there's primers in this tray right here. This channel is completely full. Okay? Now if I take this off, and turn this upside down, here's what's going to happen. So now, just remember, man, that thing. Just remember when this system is on, and this channel here is full, and I think this might be a little extra. I think it might be closer to 10 primers in this, that it's not going to set the alarm off. And I think the other one I did, it was like 7. So it all depends on where you drill that hole on that. So you'll just have to count your primers and make sure. So once this tube fills up here during this channel here, the alarm is going to kick off, which you've seen that. You also seen when I applied this with the primers on it, I went ahead and pushed the button and started feeding the primers in, the alarm went off. So again, I've been doing this system for about 2 months right now, and I'm pretty happy with it. You know, again, all these wires here, you guys know me, I don't like wires hanging around any of my presses and that. This will all be tucked in nice and neat, and I'll put some shrink tubing over the top of this, and it'll be probably the size of a quarter or $50 when it's all done and said. So again, you know, here's the finished product. If you have any questions, concerns, let me know. I'll try to do everything I can to help you and show you. Again, I'm not liable if you get a wire not right or something happens that you actually didn't go through and do the wiring exactly the same. So just want to get that out there in front of everybody. And as always, good shooting, and thank you. And my next video is going to be cleaning brass. And I also have another gentleman that would like for me to do some different loads on some CF powder on some 9mm. So that's still on my schedule to get that done as well. So like I said, the next one's going to be, we're going to take a sonic cleaner, a tumble system, and then also the corncob media. We're going to set up all 3 systems. We're going to put 100 shells in all 3 of them, same time, videotape it, come back after 4 hours, and we'll refilm it. We'll take the brass out of all 3 systems, put them in front, and you guys decide what you think is the best way to clean brass, because I've always used the corncob, so now I have 3 different options that I can go, and I want to know which one actually does the best. So you guys can ride along and see what the results are and form your own opinion. If you like the stuff that I'm doing on my channel, please subscribe. If this is interested to you and you liked it, give me some good feedback on that. And as always, good shooting. Thank you.